Does he sever them at this point? We'll see. This hardening also has the purpose right there in the text. I mean, I couldn't believe after doing this study that I ever asked, why did God do this? It says over and over again, why he did it. He did this one because of that. He did this one because of that. He did this one because of that. And so far we've gotten, so his signs can be shown in the land. And then in this one it says, so that you will know that it is I, so that you will know that I am Adonai in the midst of the land. Right? So, in the midst of Egypt, people are going to know that I am God. And these gods are not God. And so I guess that's where I'll break into how every single plague... Oh, no, we'll do that when we get to 10. When we get to my portion. Don't worry, we're almost there. 8:19 was that last hardening. This is when the bargaining begins. Right? Let us go for 3 days, and Pharaoh says, okay, you can go, but you can't go too far. Right? You know, just for 3 days, and you can't go too far. And Moses removes the swarms. That's the deal. They make a deal. They start bargaining. Moses warns Pharaoh, don't mock me. Right? Don't, like with when I took away the frogs, right? You saw that there was respite, and you hardened your heart, and you didn't let the people go. That's going to happen again. Right? He says, don't mock me. Then swarms of wild beasts. Yeah, okay, so then it brings the swarms. He gets rid of the swarms, and then it says, again, he sees that there's relief, and it says, but harden did Pharaoh his heart. That would be the Hebrew way of reading it out. So again, this is Pharaoh hardening his heart. So this is Pharaoh's fault, right? Pharaoh, this is another deeper implication when you really start getting into the hardening. Wait, what's going on here? Now God is holding Pharaoh responsible, right? Is God holding Pharaoh responsible for the hardening that he's doing to Pharaoh? Or is God only holding Pharaoh responsible for him hardening himself? Right? Because if you're hardening me and you're going to hold me responsible for it, oh, that's not fair. Oh. Well, Romans 9:8 will tell you otherwise, but we'll get there. There's a clear distinction made between Egypt and Israel for this one. Severs them, shows that, look, all the plagues from here on out are only going to obviously be happening to the Egyptians, and you're going to be able to go right over there to the Jewish camp and see none of this stuff is going on in their land. This gives rise to the cattle death, so donkeys, camels, oxen, sheep, horses, all named as dying and having a murrain and disease and bad stuff. Couldn't have killed all the animals because there's some talk about that later, but you've got most and a good large amount of animals dying in Egypt, and not one. Not even your regular, average, everyday cow dropping over, I don't think. I think God was keeping the cows alive through this whole thing to make sure everybody knew not one cow died. Right? Not one animal died in all of the house of Israel. Blah, blah, blah. No hardeners named. Let's see. Okay. Then Moses sprinkles some ash into the air. That brings boils. Also translated as leprosy. I noticed that God tells Moses that there's 3 miracles that you should be able to do before Pharaoh that'll do the trick. There's rod snake, right? There's leprous hand. Put your hand in your bosom, pull it out, and your hand is leprous as snow, white as snow with leprosy, right? And then put it back in your bosom, and it's gone, right? Well, I noticed Moses never does that, right? Says you're going to go and do that, but then you read through the whole thing, and I was like, I had to do it like 6 times. Go back. Has leprous hand ever come up? And but then I did find that synonymous with these boils would have been leprosy, and burning. The root word is from the word burning, so it would have been burning, boils, and leprosy. But one interesting thing about the fact that he never pulls his hand out and does the leprous hand trick is that it says, this sign Pharaoh will believe and hearken unto. Right? That's God again, maybe. withholding a sign that everybody would have hearkened unto, that Pharaoh's servants and everybody would have hearkened unto, and you couldn't have that. Anyway, possibly. Just trying to figure out why it never comes back up. What time is it?
Shabbat all day. Shabbat all day.
It's 1? Okay. Yeah, it's Shabbat all day. I knew it. Let's see.
I know where you're going.
Alright. So this hardening continues all the way up through Exodus. I'm going to stop with just naming off hardenings now. Because I was just trying to get the flavor of these plagues. They're not fun. They're going to suck. We'll go through, let's see here real quick. Exodus chapter 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, anyway, they strike up a couple more deals. And start bargaining more. Oh, you're going to go this far. Who's going with you? Is it just going to be the men, or is it going to be the men and the children? And then God hardens his heart again. And then it moves to, you get more plagues. I took a lot of graphic detail describing 3 of them. We could stay up here all day and go through all of them. But we'll go to chapter 10, my portion, where my favorite reason for the hardening of all of them comes up. And actually, I can't read this in the King James because it doesn't have the word in there. But so it says that I may make a mockery of Egypt. Listed among the other signs, my name may be known, my signs may be shown. All this, I want to make a mockery of Egypt. And the Hebrew word is so much better for mockery. Hittilalti, right? Or hittilalti is the sentence, it's a word. I will make a mockery. And when you realize now, I went into, making a mockery of Egypt. Egypt had thousands of gods, hundreds of gods. They had gods for everything, right? Where was Osiris, god of the river, when it turned to blood? Where was Hecht, the wife and there were other river gods, at least 3 other Nile river gods and water gods. Hecht, where was Hecht, the wife of the creator in Egypt, that had the head of a frog? Instead of this wife of the creator that they think of as this deity, instead they got piles of frogs laying in the street. By the way, I love the way that God gave them respite from the frogs. I forgot to mention that. They didn't run back into the river. They just died right where they were. Right? You had to go clean them up and assemble them into piles so that they could stink in the streets. So now Israel stinks, and there's blood everywhere, and there's frogs, and there's bugs, and there's lice, right? And we'll get through all of them here with these Egyptian gods. Geb, the god of the earth, had offerings given to it for bountiful soil. And all that the soil was bringing forth for Egypt here seems to be flies and fleas coming up out of the dirt. Right?